In the shadowy corners of the internet, where anonymity reigns and the bizarre can spiral into the unimaginable, there exists a place called 4chan. Now, if you've ever ventured there, you know it's a hub for some of the wildest content you can find. But what if I told you that it also became the breeding ground for one of the most chilling crime stories in recent history? Buckle up, because this is the crazy crime story of the 4chan killer. Our story begins in the depths of 4chan, a place notorious for its chaotic threads, memes, and sometimes the darkest of discussions. Among the users was someone who went by the name Killer Cyborg. Now, this wasn't just your average troll. No, Killer Cyborg had a dark fascination with violence, and it all started as a morbid curiosity. But as you can imagine, curiosity can take a sinister turn when fed the right kind of fuel. It all started with a post, a casual thread discussing the worst crimes in history. Killer Cyborg chimed in, expressing a twisted admiration for notorious killers. What began as idle chatter soon escalated. With every reply, he shared more graphic details, relishing the shock value it generated. The more attention he got, the more brazen he became. This was no longer just a game. It was a descent into madness. Weeks turned into months, and with each passing day, Killer Cyborg's posts morphed from admiration to a chilling declaration of intent. He began sharing plans, almost as if he was laying down the blueprint for the unthinkable. What if, he asked one day, someone took the plunge and did something truly horrific? It was a question that hung in the air, unsettling and provocative. The community, however, didn't know how to react. Some tried to dismiss him, others egged him on, but there were a few who recognized the danger lurking behind his words. They reported him, but the anonymity of 4chan made it nearly impossible for authorities to track him down. It was as if he was hiding in plain sight, and the more he wrote, the closer he got to crossing a line that should never be crossed. Things took a dark turn when Killer Cyborg posted a countdown. T-7 days, he wrote, until I make my mark. Panic rippled through the threads. Some users expressed concern, while others laughed it off. But deep down, everyone felt the looming dread. What if he was serious? Like he really did have a plan? As the countdown ticked down, fear gripped the community. On the final day, the atmosphere was electric with anticipation. Would he really go through with it? Many hoped he was just seeking attention, but deep down, a chilling thought began to settle. What if he wasn't? Then the day came. Killer Cyborg posted one last message, a cryptic note that sent shivers down the spine of anyone who read it. The game is on. No one knew what it meant, but it was enough to send the community spiraling into chaos. Panic reports flooded the authorities, but there was little they could do without a solid lead. Hours later, the unthinkable happened. A news alert broke out across social media. A series of brutal murders had occurred in a quiet suburban neighborhood, and the details were beyond horrific. The victims were seemingly random, but the method, it matched the chilling descriptions Killer Cyborg had laid out in his posts. The world was grappling with the reality that this wasn't just a sick fantasy. This was real life. The police launched an investigation, and the media was in a frenzy. They dubbed him the 4chan Killer, a name that sent waves of fear through the public. Who is this person? How could someone slip through the cracks of society and commit such heinous acts? As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that Killer Cyborg had left behind a digital trail, one that was both haunting and revealing. Authorities began sifting through his posts, desperate for any clue that could lead them to him. The more they read, the more horrified they became. It was as if he was documenting his descent into madness, each post a chilling glimpse into his mind. They tracked his IP address, but it was a wild goose chase, leading them to dead ends and false leads. Days turned into weeks, and fear gripped not just the community, but the entire nation. People began to lock their doors, and whispers of paranoia spread like wildfire. Everyone wanted to know, who was the 4chan killer? Was he still out there, lurking in the shadows, ready to strike again? Just when it seemed like the case would grow cold, a breakthrough occurred. A tip-off from a user who had been following the threads closely led authorities to a potential suspect. This individual had been engaging with Killer Cyborg and claimed to have met him in real life. They provided details that only someone close to him would know. As investigators dug deeper, they discovered that this potential suspect wasn't just a casual observer. He was a part of Killer Cyborg's twisted world. They tracked him down, and in an unexpected twist, he became a key witness. He revealed that Killer Cyborg was, in fact, a young man named Brady, living in a small town not far from where the murders took place. Armed with this new information, police moved quickly. They set up surveillance, monitoring Brady's every move. And then, the moment they had been waiting for arrived. They caught him in the act of preparing for another attack. The chilling details that had once been mere words on a screen were now becoming a horrifying reality. When they arrested him, the revelations poured out. Brady had been living a double life, one foot in the dark world of 4chan and the other in a seemingly normal existence. He confessed to the murders, revealing that he had been fueled by the attention and validation he received online. Each post, each reply, had pushed him further down a path of destruction. The trial was a media sensation. People were glued to their screens, captivated by the story of the 4chan killer. In the courtroom, Brady's demeanor was unsettling. He seemed detached, almost robotic, as he recounted his actions. It was a stark reminder of how dangerous the allure of the internet can be when combined with a mind already teetering on the edge. The prosecution painted a picture of a troubled young man who had succumbed to the darkest aspects of online culture. They argued that the anonymity of the internet had given him a false sense of power, a way to escape the banality of everyday life. It was a chilling reminder of how easily one can lose themselves in the void of anonymity. As the trial unfolded, the defense attempted to argue that Brady was a victim of circumstance, a product of his environment. They pointed to his troubled upbringing, but the jury wasn't buying it. The evidence was overwhelming, and the world watched as justice was served. In the end, Brady was found guilty on multiple counts of murder. The judge handed down a life sentence, but for many, it felt like a hollow victory. The scars left by the 4chan killer would linger long after the trial ended. Families were shattered, and a community was forever changed. The story of the 4chan killer serves as a chilling reminder of the power of the internet to both connect and destroy. In a world where anonymity can breed the darkest impulses, we must ask ourselves, how do we prevent the next killer cyborg from lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike? As the dust settled, one thing became clear. The impact of this crime would echo through the digital landscape. A haunting tale that reminds us all that sometimes the monsters we fear are not lurking under our beds, but in the depths of cyberspace.